All right, welcome to another episode of the Game Theory Podcast. This is episode 55. We're going to be talking about The Walking Dead a little bit later when Jared Smith joins us. But first, how is the weather, David? You are wearing a sweater.
Ha! Yes, well, it's a cool 79 degrees, so got to bundle up.
Jeez, that's nice. It actually got below 70 here last night, which is crazy. It was like 68 or something. I went out because yesterday was my birthday. I'm an old man, finna die. Time to start looking at those little walkers with those little, tennis balls at the bottom.
Those are very stylish.
That's what I got for my birthday.
Not all you got. Your gift for me is coming in the mail.
Oh, I'm excited about it. Yeah, my mom bought me like a book about psychology research in video games, and I was like, "Thank you." It has some stuff I haven't seen before, so it's pretty cool.
Is that her way of saying that your content is just kind of slowly dropping off on the show, and she wants you to step it up?
Yeah, pretty much. She's like, "Listen, I've been watching the show, and I'm your mom, so I'm not gonna say anything, deconstructive, but here's a book full of interesting things about video games."
I thought you might want to tap into that.
Just kind of look at that.
Next time you run your stupid mouth.
Just read from that instead of thinking about things. No, but yeah, I got birthday stuff. Got some cool jiu-jitsu shorts. Cause I've been trying to, but I have no free time. Get into the jiu-jitsu gym over here.
Oh.
Get warmed back up in that. I used to take Brazilian jiu-jitsu for a while. Loved it. It's good fun. Also, I went out. We went out to this fancy bar, and it's called the Wine Bar, and the drinks are like $14 a piece. It's insane, but. But it's fancy. It's got chandeliers and stuff, and they wear bow ties, so it was nice. And it's got that. Okay, how do you say this word? It's got that Spanish phenomenon, the small plates like tapas or tapas or tapas. I don't. Do you know what I'm talking about? Tapas. Anyway, whatever. It's got those, and they're crazy expensive little appetizers, basically. But we got those. It was good. Let me see. Oh yeah, but then we went in, and I had the weirdest thing happen. We went in and ordered some drinks and hung out for a while, and then at the end, some other bartender that had served us the last time we went in there. It's a new bar, so we'd only been in twice. And he walked over and he goes, "Hey, are you the Lefroy guy?" And Lefroy is like a kind of scotch that I drink, and I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he goes, "Cool." And he reaches out his hand to shake my hand. I was like, so I grab it, and then he grabs it with the other hand, like the two-hand shake.
Yeah.
And he shakes it while maintaining eye contact, and he goes, "It's really good to see you back." And I was like, "What? What are you talking?" That was so random.
He walks up and goes, "Are you the that whiskey guy? You son of a bitch! How are you?
How are you?" Yeah, essentially that's what happened. So it was just the weirdest eye contact, and I'd been sitting there the whole time, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe it was the good tip in the middle of Mississippi because no one tips here. That could be it. Maybe it's the fact that we weren't completely drunk because it was game day, so everyone's just hanging out there, and they're just. In the South, apparently, it's perfectly permissible to be absolutely stumbling, eyes crossed, drunk after a game.
Yeah, only on sports ball day.
Sports ball day. Yeah, I guess Jesus doesn't care in that case. But yeah, because there were people just how when you get drunk you just shout.
Yeah. They
were doing that, and this is a fancy place. We've been before. Nobody shouts. It's almost like a small whisper. And there's just people "Hey, I can't even. I've seen you in a while." And there was a guy walking down the street, literally with one eye closed, and his other eye was crossed. And he's walking by a girl, presumably with her, and she's fine. She's just walking. Her eyes are normal, just looking around, completely oblivious to the fact that her boyfriend is so drunk he could pass out while he's walking, and he was just swaying around. It's insane. I don't know that. I'm pretty sure public intoxication is a problem. But
sounds like a typical day in South Korea to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. South Korea. Maybe that's it. We're South Korea just from game days.
Yeah. So anyway. Good birthday overall.
Oh yes, overall. Overall, what I did was I wanted a day where I could just hang out. I want to go do something, but I also want a day where I can hang out and not feel guilty just playing games all day. So my wife gave that to me. It's pretty cool. She brought me food, and I was like,
"That's the most depressing thing I've ever heard you say."
I know, it's sad, right? Because I was like,
you just described your once a year on your birthday day, and that's just any given weekend for me.
I hate you. it's just the family and graduate school. It's so difficult to carve out time where you don't feel like I should be doing that other thing. So Friday, I worked furiously to make sure I had nothing on my plate for Saturday. So yeah, but it was
Ask me,
fun.
ask me how my Saturday was.
I'm not gonna do that, you twit. I know exactly what you're gonna say, and it wasn't your birthday.
It wasn't my birthday, but it was exactly the same. Ask me how my next and previous Saturdays are and will be.
No, I will not. I don't want to know. In my existence, you don't exist. So you know.
Oh man! So fall break's coming up, and that will be an entire week of what you just described as your birthday.
Oh, I hate you.
You'll be there someday. Just get out of graduate school and murder your family. Wait, what? What was the last part? That part
I'll
should have
edit
been
it out.
said.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna edit it out. But yeah, so that happened. But the game I played the whole time is Heroes of the Storm because I got into the alpha because of one of my friends, Russell Glasser. He was on the show. For those of you who don't know, and he was able to get one for me. So I'm pretty excited about that. We'll talk about it in the gaming experiences section. But that's pretty much what I did all day.
Yes, we'll have to discuss that. I'm curious to see how it goes. I have my suspicions.
Yes. So.
But first, maybe some recent news.
All right. This is the recent news section. So what's going on in the news, man? I mean, I know there's a few things because there's been 2 big games released. But
Yeah, should we talk about those?
yeah, and wait, before we do, there's a smaller game, Titanfall. Right? Titanfall was released probably a little bit ago.
Oh yeah, forgot about Titanfall. I meant to say in the show notes a different game.
Okay. Yeah, Titanfall came out like not too long ago. The thing is, I played in the beta, and it was fun because what it does is kind of like some parkour stuff. You have little like jetpacks, like mini-use jetpacks where you can run along the sides of walls. It's pretty fun, but it kind of got old quick. I stopped playing well before the beta ended, and I like FPSs, so that's pretty weird for me. But yeah, speaking of FPSs that came out, there is a bigger one.
Yeah, to equally cold reception, we're talking Destiny.
Yes, Destiny. This is by developers Bungie.
Yeah, this game's been in development for a long time. I remember my cousin showing me trailers for it, like hour-long trailers of development footage, and I remember thinking to myself, "Oh, that looks all right. Probably not gonna be great because Bungie, but let's see how it turns out."
Wait, did you know Bungie made Oni? Do you remember that game? Or
Yeah.
Oni? They made that game. It's this old school game that had this really weird gameplay mechanic. It was confusing, but if you could master it, it's almost like that. What was that game called? WSAD or whatever? Have you seen that on the internet? Where you try to like run a marathon with just WSAD keys?
No.
Something like that. I can't. Maybe it's called QWERTY or something. I can't remember. But it's a really weird game. But it's based on like one letter is for one leg, the other letter's for another leg. One's for the arm, and you just like end up falling over and over. It's pretty fun. But it's like famously bad controls. That's kind of how Ani was. It was this game where you're this like anime ninja cop who like runs and you can do like cartwheels.
Oh yeah, I played that game. Yeah, on
Yeah.
the PC.
That was Bungie. Isn't that weird?
Oh, that's weird. That's not what I would think of when I think Bungie now.
No, because they made it big. Microsoft bought them out and said, "Hey, we want this Halo thing for Xbox exclusive, and we want to own you." So, yeah.
And so they did.
But now they're done with Halo, at least for now. And then they started this new game called Destiny, which is also Halo. So
It's Halo, but kind of an MMO.
yeah, they kind of wanted the best of both worlds, like FPS and Halo, or FPS and MMO. Weird.
Yeah, and came out with neither the best of either world. From what the reviews are saying, have you had a chance to play this?
No, I haven't. I just don't. Yeah, no.
So,
I wasn't excited enough to even try.
yeah. I've watched
No.
some gameplay videos.
Wait, but I even had a person that I worked with at up on campus who slipped the beta key, a free beta key code, into my folder and was like, "There you go, man. I know you run that gaming podcast, so enjoy." I didn't even cash it in. It was on the PS3. I didn't even cash it in. I don't care about the game because I watched the gameplay videos, like you were saying, like you were about to say. And
Yeah.
just-
Well, yeah. The one I watched was boss fights, and wow. wow,
That's
the
that
guy that
one.
was streaming was like super excited about it. He's like, yeah, look at this boss fight. And then like about 10 minutes into it, he kind of was like, I'm going to skip ahead to the end of it. So he like edits the video and takes I don't know how many minutes out of it, but it gets towards the end because that boss fight was going forever. And he's carefully explaining how great this game is and how much more epic it feels than Borderlands, and how he expected nothing but the best from the makers of Halo, and he got it. And then like he just kind of gets distracted and says, although in the future, I mean, if there was one thing I could change about the boss fights, it would be maybe faster moving bosses. Maybe that they could take cover. The last two boss fights have just been sort of stationary, and we've just been popping out of cover and shooting at them for 15 minutes. So I guess yeah, that would be the one thing I would change. But otherwise, this game is awesome.
15 minutes, and you're not exaggerating. That's one of the critiques of this game is that the boss fights are completely boring, uninteresting, and they take sometimes upwards of 30 minutes.
Yeah,
to
four
shoot
reviews I've read have used the phrase stationary bullet sponges to describe the boss mechanics.
The game was actually had a working title called Cement Block Until You Run Out of Ammo, maybe. But then they changed it to Destiny because it really grabbed this feel. Because that's basically what it is. They sit there.
That is your destiny, is to run out of ammo while you're shooting a cement block.
That's the plot point. Yeah, that's the scary part. But yeah, it got not great reviews. People put this below games like Goat Simulator got a higher score.
Or that pigeon dating simulator.
Did that get a higher score?
Yeah, way higher score. Got like an 8.5 instead of a 6.
No way. Oh my gosh. Metro got a better score, which a lot of people haven't played. I mean, every game, essentially, every blockbuster game that came out got way higher score, even the semi-bad ones. This game was not received very well. In fact,
so much
I read 6 reviews, six reviews, and every single one of them, somewhere in the narrative, said uninspired. Somewhere in the thing. So that's the opposite of epic. It's not a good sign for Destiny. It's weird. It's quoted as the most expensive video game ever to be made, with a $500 million budget.
Jeez.
Yeah, and this came out. It's crazy.
Well, I'm sure it'll make its money back because it's the same reason Transformers does well the first weekend in the box office. Or Ninja Turtles, like there's so much hype that people are just going to buy it as soon as it comes out. But it doesn't factor in the returns.
You had someone in your class ask you about it, didn't you?
Yeah. One of my students from the seniors, I was like, "Hey, you're a gamer, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You gonna buy Destiny when it comes out?" I was like, "No, I said I was a gamer, not gonna buy Destiny."
There's a lot of controversy apparently around the word gamer, but I think it's like this. It'd be like going up to like Siskel or Ebert. I can't remember which one's still alive, but it's horrible actually, but it's true. I can't remember which one was the one who passed away, but going up to him and then saying like, oh hey, you're a movie critic, right? And he's like, oh yeah, and like you only see you love like really good movies. He's like, yeah. And he's like, so you're gonna go see the new Transformers movie, or how about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? Are you just completely chomping at the bit to go see that? He would probably say, screw you, like. Because it's objectively, no matter how much money it makes, it's a critical flop.
Yeah, right. Like, Rotten Tomatoes will have the critic review and the audience review scores.
Mm-hmm.
And they're seldom the same because critics know what makes good movies, and the audiences are typically not that well read on what good storytelling is.
Right.
So just because something sells well doesn't mean it is good. In fact, I'm starting a blog that's on that very subject. It's just going to be things that are selling well and that are not good, and just explaining why they're not good.
Well, and then do the inverse too. Like Natural Selection 2, for example, got like a 9.0 or something like that from the
critics.
From critics, yeah, which is amazing. Games like that are like would be like some of the great like Child of Light or things like that. Like the unarguably best games to ever come out, and it got that, but it's struggling right now, and the developers have moved on to another game. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. It's completely innovative, and the gameplay is tight and awesome. And it's one of the only games I've played multiple times over the course of years, and love it. But it doesn't sell that well. So these two are mutually exclusive, or not mutually exclusive. They're not mutually inclusive, I should say.
Yeah, they're not. And yeah, I'll be covering both. I'll be covering things that are good that aren't well received, and things that are well received that aren't good. And it's surprising how often those things happen.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I get it. I mean, I'm a fanboy for a lot of games where I won't hear you say anything bad about it, but somewhere underneath I know that it's not the greatest.
Yeah, and it's okay to like things that aren't good. That's fine. You just have to come to terms with the fact that it's not good. I like plenty of things that aren't good. I like
Mhm.
plenty of games that aren't any good. I just like them because I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. I'm trying to think of one right now.
Um, I mean,
There's probably some.
I've
What
got
are
a,
some that you like that aren't good?
I've got a super over liking for like games like, I mean, not that they're not good, but like Final Fantasy Tactics type games. Like XCOM is one of the greatest games to ever
Yeah,
come out,
I was
in
gonna
my
say
opinion.
XCOM, but I think XCOM is it's not great, but it's good.
Right, yeah. To me, it's like the best game to come out in this decade. One of the best ones because of the fact that you can customize your characters, it's turn-based, and it's got even the storyline's not that impressive. I understand that, but I still love it. Like, I
Yeah,
just love that game.
and that's fine. Like you know your biases. You know that if a game has customizable characters and is turn based, you're gonna like it probably more than you should,
Mm-hmm.
or that not should that you would objectively if you didn't have those biases.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hate when people get like super like I'm reading the comments on these reviews and people are losing their minds. They're like 6 out of 10, that's criminal. That's unprofessional. This is unprofessional reviewing. And you're like, well, I think of the two of you, one of you has a job as a professional critic, the other one doesn't, so maybe they would know more than you. Which
And
one?
it's consistent with what the other critics are saying. So, and I think one of the cool things, you and I were kind of perusing some reviews before this as well, and one of the cool things that one of them said was that said, hey, erase the fact that this is Bungie. Like we know, and there's been so much hype of like $500 million budget. Whoa, let's see what happens. And the fact that
Yeah,
they
Peter
hyped it as like
Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, exactly, as a voice actor. They hyped this game as a game changer, quote unquote. They said that multiple times. It obviously is not. That's one of the problems. But so that would be something working against it. It's the fact that it said it was going to change the game, and it clearly didn't. And a lot of critics are kind of like saying, "Hey, you said this, and it's clearly not." Yeah. But take away pretend it's a brand new developer who came out with this, and then then review the game. That's kind of how reviewers are doing this, and I think a lot of other people are more like, it's like if a new Star Wars movie comes out, I'm gonna go see that, even if it's bad. I'm gonna go see it, like because of the fact that it has a long history of making
Right.
anime.
I watched the entire first season of the Clone Wars on Cartoon Network. That was not good. It was clearly designed for kids. Like it was a lot of like droid slapstick, like Roger Roger, salute, fall off something, laugh.
Yeah.
But I watched it because it was Star Wars, and I feel like a lot of people are playing Destiny because it's Halo.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I wish that people could be more objective. It's so weird, like studying psychology and then watching people completely fall victim to it, and then having no idea. Because like, I don't even know if it takes the background because you're doing it as well. Where you're like, oh, I'm clearly not very objectively biased, or I'm
Yeah, you don't
objectively
have to
biased.
study psychology. You just have to be self-aware. Like you have to have some measure of introspection where you say, "Wait, why am I doing this right now?"
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Um,
is pretty counterintuitive.
yeah. So Destiny came out, did not get good reviews, but what else came out? I know this because I watch Twitch TV. It's a streaming service, and it's the #1 most streamed thing right now. So.
Yeah, I saw a Twitter. Someone tweeted a tweeter. Somebody tweeted like Came out today, but everybody's streaming the Japanese demo of Smash Brothers on the 3DS.
Yeah, that's so weird.
So yeah, the Smash Brothers actually came out yesterday on your birthday in Japan. So for the first time in my life, I woke up thinking, I wish I were Japanese, not American, because I could be playing Smash Brothers right now.
That is crazy. It's crazy.
It's it took over the streams, and it's it's getting good reviews. The first impressions are getting good reviews. The one negative thing I've read about it is apparently some people are destroying their 3DSs on this game. You know that little like pad, the little joystick on the left?
Oh yeah.
Apparently that little like rubber part's getting torn off because they're smashing it so hard.
Oh.
So be careful of that, any Japanese listeners. Go easy on those thumbsticks.
Oh my gosh. The game is pretty. I mean, that's so funny about Nintendo. They rarely hype. I mean, there aren't like commercials for this, right? I mean, sometimes on the internet there are, but it's not like on TV. Like Destiny is on TV. You can go to a
Yeah.
movie theater and see
Well,
talks about.
and every time I turn on YouTube, I can't watch anything without a Destiny commercial for the first 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, they one of their biggest expenses because there's been a lot of criticism about how much money went into this game. They,
Mhm.
they were like, what are you guys spending this on? And they said, well, our biggest expense is advertising. So, they said with that, it's expensive nowadays to get your product out on the big places. So that's part of it. It's super hyped.
Yeah, but that's what Nintendo does well is if you have a good product, you can rely on word of mouth, and that's what they've done. They've done that, and they've had their treehouse, which you talked about in our translation episodes, like their localization team. They did
Mm,
like a all day stream onto Twitch of them playing it,
yeah.
and yeah, that's free advertising. That doesn't cost them anything.
Wow. Yeah. See, this is it's the whole Western idea of like the big games versus the Eastern. Western is like we pay a lot of money and we do something that's been done before, and then the Eastern idea is like, oh, it has to be something innovative. So yeah, what can you do? But yeah, other big news about speaking of Microsoft.
Oh wait, one more thing on the Smash Bros. Thing. Did you see that people are trying to buy the demo codes?
No.
So like the couple days ago, like the 12th, I think, Nintendo released these special demo codes to let you play the Smash Brothers demo for like platinum users of
Huh.
their Club Nintendo, and everybody they're going to release another demo on the 19th for everybody, just like open public demo. And
Uh-huh.
then on October 3rd, the game comes out in the States. So we're 3 weeks away from release, or 2 weeks, wherever we're at right now. And we're 1 week away from the demo being released. And yet, if you go on eBay, these demo codes are selling for like $30 a pop.
For a week early access?
Right, and the game itself is like $35. So,
What the heck? I wonder if it's just people trying to get good at it. Because I'm playing Heroes of the Storm and it's an alpha right now, and I'm clearly getting better, and so that's part of it. Is like once all the people come flooding in, I'm gonna be sitting pretty for a
oh,
while. Maybe that's it.
it won't help them. I'll put in enough hours the day it comes out to catch up.
The victims.
But yeah, so yeah. Anyway, Microsoft news.
Yeah. So Minecraft is real big with kids right now. My son loves it.
Yeah, it's the game adaptation of the popular German novel Mein Kampf, right?
My struggle. Yeah, exactly.
or,
Um,
or is that something else?
no, it's a little different. Minecraft is like about the square blocks and whatever.
Oh
But
yeah,
But Microsoft is trying to buy them for I think it's what was it $1 billion? If I remember, it's $1 billion. Somewhere around there. There's a bunch of rumors about it, and Notch, the guy who created
yeah.
it,
2.5 billion. This is a report I read.
2.5. Holy cow! Like I would take this, and I am all about independent gaming. I would still like, well, I can retire and never work again, or I could have like a sense of like I stood up to the man. No,
No, yeah, sell out. If it's 2.5 billion, you sell out, and you take that word with pride. And people say you're a sellout. And you're like, I am. Now, would you like me to come by on one of my helicopters and wave at you?
yeah, because I bought one and I don't even have a helipad. It's just sitting in my driveway because I can.
I bought two because I couldn't decide what color I wanted them in.
So I
So I
just
have
got
two now.
two. Also, I put a helicopter rotor on top of my Ferrari just for funsies because I got 6 of them. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, who cares if they're hating? Now you're super rich. You only get one shot at life, man. And that's the way to live it. But still, I do feel sad about it because a huge monumental company, Microsoft, is buying it, and
Eh,
I don't have a long good history with Microsoft.
I I'm pretty neutral to this news. I've never played Minecraft, so whoever owns it doesn't really bother me. And hey, I didn't complain when Disney bought Star Wars, and they're a huge company.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, that's sad, but also good for Notch, man. He made something very small and very weird a long time ago, and it got big. So that's the dream.
That is the dream. Good for him. Oh, speaking of evil corporate empires, the the Star Wars Command app we talked about a little while ago. It's become the #1 app on the iStore, on the App
Wow.
Store, and it is. They just released some stats. Disney did about who's playing what, and surprisingly, more people are Imperial than Rebel
Huh.
worldwide. I went Rebel because you get to be Chewbacca and Han Solo. I thought that
Yeah.
would be enough, but no. Apparently, those AT-ATs are uh, pretty popular. And what's interesting is they released a world map of which countries went where, and The Soviet Empire, Russia, they went empire, hardcore, like super empire. No surprise there. Also Austria and Germany, more former empires,
Hmm.
very imperial. Also Japan, another former
Oh,
empire.
okay.
Also
Yeah.
Great Britain, another former empire. Also America, United States, another current empire.
Wow.
Uh, very imperial. In fact, most of the Western and Northern Hemisphere went in empire, and then if you look at Africa and South America, Rebel Alliance. So we might be seeing a economic demographic here showing up.
Wow. Okay, I think I understand that. Yeah, if you're on top right now, you're all about, exerting force to make others get in line, and if you're not, then you're all about overthrowing people in power so that you can
Right.
have power. Makes sense.
Chile, Brazil, Spain. Actually, France went slightly to the rebel cause, so they've got that liberté
Hmm.
ideal still pushing them. But yeah, all the other major powers, even Canada went imperial. They never even had an empire.
They're just, Canadian. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, or
Whatever, man.
Australia. Australia went slightly imperial,
Huh.
which you would have thought, being descended from rebel scum as they are, as
Yeah,
former convicts, they would have had some sympathy for the rebellion.
I guess not. I guess they just don't give a shit, man. They're Australia. Who cares?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Those are all countries that would have a Death Star, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, I think actually Obama is. Didn't he say he was building a Death Star?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So
That's,
just thought that was kind of interesting, just the way it broke out.
oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that pretty much is the big things in the news. There's some other small things, but hey, those are the big items, and they took over most of gaming media. So um, I guess we can move on to something I'm excited to talk about: our recent experiences with games, called the Gaming Experiences section. All right, this is Gaming Experiences, where we talk about games we play to prove we're actually gamers.
Have
Um,
to constantly get our credentials renewed. It's like when you have to get continuing education for your profession.
I see. Yes. But I've got a game that I'm really excited to talk about. But I know, what have you been doing while I've been off gallivanting with my new beautiful girlfriend of a game?
I have been, well, first of all, your talk last week about XCOM got me, or 2 weeks ago, got me excited. So I reinstalled XCOM, bought some of the expansions, and played and beat that one.
Awesome. Okay, so what did you think?
It was just like my first playthrough. Like, I was really having fun with it until the end game, and then I got kind of tired of it. Like, I got to the point where every time an alien abduction would happen, instead of getting excited, I'd be like, "Ah,
Yeah.
fine." And so I'd go do that, do the mission. They stopped being fun long. Like, the game felt like it went a little bit too long.
Huh. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I had that too. Of
and
course.
I died tragically at the end.
Oh yeah, yeah. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Exactly. Main dude. But still, exciting. It was pretty heroic, even
Right.
though it's yeah.
I knew when I volunteered for that extra side training, I was like, yeah, yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, why are they making such a big deal out of this? Am I sealing my own doom?
And you totally were.
Yeah. But
But
beyond that, it was fun. It was fun. I just at the end I felt like I was beating it out of obligation because I didn't beat it the first time I played through it.
mm, yeah.
But it was a lot easier this time. I put it on normal instead of hard, so I didn't have countries just quitting all the time from the XCOM alliance.
Oh my gosh, I never played it on hard. I can't even imagine. Because even on normal, I mean, if you're trying to keep everyone alive, it can be difficult.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, yeah, I know that you bought some books too.
Yeah. I got fifth edition D&D. I got the player's handbook and the starter set, and one of the adventures they've come out with. Kobold Quarterly helped publish this. It's Horde of the Dragon Queen. It's part of like a level 1 through 7 adventure.
Huh.
So pick that up. My cousins want to do like a cousins D&D night on Skype or Google Hangouts. So pick that up so I could DM for them. So I've got the Edge of the Empire on one end and then D&D on the other.
I still, as much as I like Edge of the Empire, I think I like D&D more. Maybe that's just because I haven't played in a while, but something about that
Yeah.
setting, at least when you're GMing, is super fun because you make up everything, and I like making up stuff. And
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. It feels like it's been a long time since I've played some D&D. So, and this is the brand new edition, so it'll be interesting to see how it runs.
yeah, that will be cool.
And yeah, same thing with me. Like Edge of the Empire, like it's fun, but it feels, especially with our game right now, like we're getting to the point where we're just so high level that it's starting to get like ridiculous. Like the mechanics start to fall apart at high
Hmm.
levels. Sometimes we have a character with so much armor that he can't be hurt, so it's kind of ruining the tension a little bit because he is literally invincible.
Yeah, whenever it's insta kills and take no damage, then it's just not fun because you're like, well, I'll just do whatever I want, and eventually everyone will die.
Yeah,
So
it's like they're just gonna shoot at you, I guess, but they're gonna miss. So let's just skip ahead to the end of the battle.
yeah, that's fun.
Right.
Any other games?
Yeah, I The Sims 4 came out, so I bought it, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, played it for a couple hours. I will say that it is the best Sims game
Okay.
I've ever played. The Sims can do things like multitask now. Like if you want to eat your cereal and talk to your friend, you can do that.
Okay.
Or if you want to like watch TV and like there's you can give them multiple tasks and they can do them at the same time now instead of one at a time.
Hmm.
And they have emotions now, so they'll feel like inspired or grumpy or flirty or happy, and that will like change what they want to do.
Okay. That's cool.
And the graphics are better. You can make, I started making all of our friends as you do when you play The Sims.
Right.
You can make everyone look pretty cool. In fact, somebody made the whole cast of Archer. And they looked pretty good. And one of
Yeah.
the jobs you can pick up is Super Spy. So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You can make ISIS
That's perfect.
or not
Archer.
ISIS, whatever. What's Archer's?
I think that's right. ISIS. Yeah.
Okay, well that has a negative connotation now.
Yeah. That's that's a little
It's like,
different.
that can't be ISIS. Yeah. So anyway, after about 2 hours, I emailed them and asked for a refund.
Really?
Yeah, because when I said it's the best Sims game I've ever played, that's true, but it's also true. Like, it's still a Sims game that you're playing, and it's just kind of boring if you're, uh, just like eat your macaroni, go get a job, take a shower, go pee. It's the same. It's the same managing your needs bars that it's always been, and I just didn't really feel it.
Right. Okay. Well, I got to play we had a quasi game theory game night. It was a really silly thing. Dino is what it's called. Dino Prelude or something. Is that no Orion? Orion.
Orion, yeah.
That's it. It's like basically just humans with jetpacks and guns shooting dinosaurs. Really crappy
Say that
little
so
game.
nonchalantly.
But yeah,
It's just
as
humans with jetpacks and guns killing dinosaurs. What your standard game?
yeah, standard, fair. It came out. It's following the tradition of games like Turok, which is when we were a kid is called Turok Dinosaur Hunter. That's the
Yeah.
only thing you need in a title to sell a game to kids. So I remember playing the game and I liked it, even though it was just objectively not good. But
Yeah.
still, you got a bow and arrow, you got like explosive weapons
Yeah,
shooting.
you're Native American hunting dinosaurs with exploding arrows. Like, what's not to like?
Well, this one is just horrible. Like the game is bad. Don't ever play it. Don't ever buy it. But it's fun for like the first like 5 minutes because it's like 15 minutes or so because
For the
like you have
novelty?
to. Yeah, for the novelty. Yeah, because then you're fighting a bunch of small things and then out comes a Stegosaurus, a Triceratops, a T-Rex, and it throws boulders at you, which is absurd. But
Was a T-Rex covered in feathers?
no, it wasn't. Yeah, it's the old idea of like scaly dinosaurs, which some apparently were and some apparently weren't. But yeah, it's fun. You get little vehicles, and the graphics aren't good, and the AI is horrible. But you're shooting dinosaurs, so it was fun. We played with it was me and two other listeners, and I didn't expect it to be a big turnout. It's a small game, and I don't suggest anyone purchase it if you don't already have it. So
Yeah,
it's,
I saw the announcement that they were organizing that, and I was like, I do not own that game. And then I looked at it and I was like, I don't think I will be purchasing that game.
Oh man, I got it on a suggestion of one of the listeners who was like, "Hey, it's on sale for like 99 cents at the time," and he's like, "Why don't you, or something like, it's pretty fun, pretty stupid, but also, dinosaurs." So I was like, "Hell, why not?" So yeah, it was a goofy time, but it was good times. Got to know a couple of the listeners a little better. It was fun. But no, the game that I've been playing that I've been excited about is Heroes of the Storm.
Now, I never ever thought I'd live in a world where you were excited about a MOBA.
Yeah, what the heck? I got the same. That's what Russell said. You know, one of my buddies, like he's my StarCraft buddy. Like we play together. Since you won't, because you're horrible.
Hmm.
But we
At
play
the
together,
game
and
and in life.
yeah, yeah. It's just in general, generalized horribleness. So yeah, he's like, I can't. I like this game, and I don't care for MOBAs. And I was like, yeah, but do you have the same distaste that I do, where I hate them and I see them as a blight on the face of the earth? Like I would destroy them if I could. And then I was like, is it that bad? Because if it's that bad, then maybe. But he was like, oh no, I play LOL occasionally, and I'm like, okay, we'll see. So I start playing the game, and oh, dude, they did everything we suggested on our MOBA, our League of Legends episode. Remember
This
how
is
like
where we do like a record scratch rewind sound effect, and then we splice in sounds from that League of Legends episode where we list all the things they could do to fix that game.
yes, please before you play this game, if you get an alpha code or a beta code, or eventually it's going to go free to play, I believe. Go listen to that episode because they did. Remember how JT was fighting us, and he was like,
Yes.
no, that's the things that make it good. Wrong, dude. This game is fun.
All right,
Like,
let me try and remember the things that we had problems with, and you can tell me if they fixed them.
Okay.
Walking speed takes forever to get to the battle.
Yeah, now you've got a mount you can summon like real quick, and then you can get wherever you want. You can't fight on it, but you can. It's the mount is there, and the walking distance is actually about the same, but it doesn't matter because you're on a horse.
Okay, what about this? We complained about League of Legends where the individual level of rewards encourages selfish kill stealing and one-man army mentality instead of teamwork.
Yeah, everybody is good here. It's awesome. You can be healer and never kill anything ever, and everyone levels at the same speed. So what it does is everybody shares the same XP pool. It's called and instead of tracking XP now, it tracks XP contribution. So everybody lives off the same pool, but the way that you should do it is like give your amount or contribute a certain amount, so you can see people who were doing the best for the team, so you still get that like, oh, that's our superstar over there, but it doesn't matter because everyone levels at the same time. So you get like little talents. There's no buying. Oh, I won't get into that yet. But yeah, the lanes and stuff, like laning isn't a thing now. I mean, you go there for a little bit, but you rarely kill creeps, if ever. I mean, you kill
So you don't
maybe
have to
like
do that stupid
5.
little like shuffle dance where you're clicking around the
No.
ground and trying to get the last hit on creeps.
I don't even like I kill maybe 3 creeps a game. That it's irrelevant. Like you have things that sometimes kill creeps, but essentially the only time you ever kill a creep is to like push back a lane that happened to be pushing, and even then you don't really do it. You just go kill the people around it.
See, that's what creeps like. I like the idea of creeps because of the pushing back lanes and like for strategy. Like, oh no, the creeps are overrunning us, and we go push them back. That's cool. I don't like creeps as a resource where you have to like, oh dude, stop getting last hit. You're supposed to be supporting my AD. I hate
Right.
that kind of creep mentality.
Yeah, the whole fact that one person is a hero, that's so stupid. Like, if you got all ADCs or whatever you call them, like ranged specialists or ranged attack people, it's still fine. The gameplay is exactly the same as if you play a support, a buff tank guy, and everything else. It all just works out because there's none of that bullshit of before of like, oh, let's everyone feed this one person, he's our superstar. No, you all get better. It's really cool.
So you can play a healer if you like healing. Like, let's say I like healing, which I do. I could be the healer, and I still get to be a superstar in my own way. I get to be a better healer.
Yes, hands down. I've got 2 favorite characters. My top favorite character whenever I'm playing PvP, like against other humans, is Malfurion. Yeah, he's a healer, a really good one. I don't ever I don't hit anyone. I don't hurt anyone. I just heal. And then occasionally you slow people down by like moon firing them, which like if you spec out a talent that way. So whenever you level, you get to pick one of like 2 or one of 3 or sometimes one of 5 talents or things that like help you or give you a new ability, and then so it'll pop up, and you just click it, and so one way to spec yourself is like super heal man, and then another one is like kind of helping people out by slowing stuff down and that kind of thing, being a general nuisance. But it's fun, dude.
So who's your other favorite besides
No buying of items. You don't buy fucking items. That was the worst part. Remember that when we complained about that in that episode?
Yeah,
we were
the
like,
build orders and the like. Oh, you gotta buy a potion and a ward, and you gotta buy a longsword and turn it into a super longsword.
yeah, that is stupid, and it's crap, and it's not in there. There's no shop. You just spec yourself out with your talent. So it's all PvP all the time, and there's objectives that keep you like going. It's awesome. So like one is like, oh hey, if you gather One is like it's Kel'Thuzad, and he'll curse an enemy team if you can collect a couple tributes to him.
Oh,
So
cool.
you run across the map and they pop up randomly, and everyone runs towards it, and then it's like this huge team battle. Oh, it's so fun! This game is fun, dude.
All right. Well, what about story? Like the story. Remember, the League of Legends didn't have. Although they actually just erased their story, so maybe they have one now. But when we reviewed it, they didn't really have much of a lore per se.
Um, yes, absolutely. Like in this, first of all, it's Warcraft characters and Starcraft and Diablo. So like you've got that. But on top of that, like everything has a theme. So like one is pirates. It's like these undead pirate ship in the middle of the map. And if you go and collect booty, which is like these little boxes drop with booty, or you can also kill enemies who have money on them, and then you can take their money and you go turn it into this undead pirate. And if whoever pays him off the quickest, he'll shoot the enemy towers a couple times. So it's fun, man. It's like this. Oh man, it's just fun. You're constantly scrambling around the map, not killing.
Wait,
creeps.
there's more than one map?
Yeah, there are, and they're good and they're balanced. Go figure.
It's not just
It's
everybody
not that
playing
hard.
on the Fields of Summoner's Rift or whatever.
Yeah, the worst idea. And here's my second favorite character. It's innovative. Okay, get this. It's Abathur. He's my top favorite character.
The Zerg Evolution Master.
Yeah, the Zerg like strength. So Abathur is this guy. The lore is, in the game StarCraft, is that it's this constantly evolving race Zerg. Well, he helps guide them by like splicing in certain things in the gene pool. So he'll say things like, Kerrigan, would you rather be more stalwart and I'll give you more armor on your creatures, or do you want to be more like, I don't know, attack speed, like faster attack, and then he will do that. So in this game, you never leave base as Abathur. It's awesome. And how do you make that work? Well, you spread like little creep tumor type things, and the creep you can upgrade those if you want to like blind people or do damage, and it already does damage to like little mines. And then you also you release locusts, so you can upgrade your locusts. So like whatever lane you sit in, there's like this big kind of like locust that moves forward and attacks, and he can like tunnel around, like instantly tunnel anywhere he can see. So you can like tunnel up to their, if you want to leave base, you can tunnel up to like one of their like creep things, drop a bunch of locusts, and then tunnel back. He's so annoying, and you can neural parasite every character, so you're everywhere you need to be. You pop up on a character, and then it like you can like shoot spines from them, or you can like armor them up. You can do all these things to like help people out. So you're constantly in battle, but your character himself will never leave.
So you're just kind of like floating above it like a StarCraft commander upgrading the other units.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. So and it's confusing for the enemies because they're like, oh look, an archer, so they go to attack the archer because a ranged specialist is going to be a little weaker. So Diablo comes running in, he charges and hits him, and then I go no, and I'm looking at the minimap, so I see that, I click on the character and I upgrade their armor, do like a spine thing that slows the Diablo guy down, and then she kites him like crazy while I'm shooting spines at him with my spine ability. So fun, and it's confusing because it's like, why did I just lose to that? Oh, it must be Abathur. Crap, because Abathur's everywhere.
No,
It's so fun.
That's cool. So like he's not a presence on the board. So there's one fewer champion to help on the fight, but he's kind of everywhere.
Exactly, and it's considered a very hard mechanic, but if you have high APM, like it requires a lot of like clicking and stuff. It gives you something to do if you like playing games at a faster, more
So if you're
furious
coming
pace.
to this game from StarCraft, that's a good character to go to.
Yeah. I found another Abathur player and I asked him as well. I was like, "Did you come from StarCraft?" He goes, "Yeah, it feels more like that because it's more of a command of the battlefield rather than one person. You're not just fighting battles, which you are, but it's more about pushing lane, like making sure everybody's getting all the objectives done. You're more like a manager.
It's more of a strategy than a tactics.
Exactly. Oh, it's so fun. And your ultimate ability is it's called Ultimate Evolution, where you can spawn an exact replica of anyone and you become that thing. So like if Arthas is on the field and he's running around and he's doing pretty well, I'm like, I want to be him. So wherever he is, if he starts to get ganked, like 3 guys jump out of the bushes, and I'm like, no, you don't. And I ultimately evolve, so I pop out there, and then like you go, and your arms grow out, and all of a sudden you got this huge sword, and then it's 2-on-3, so then we can usually beat him. It's fun. So like you never leave anyone alone. You can always like evolve right next to them, and you can also, even if they are alone and you don't have your ultimate evolution, you can still make a fight out of it. It's fun, man. You can possess towers and do that too. So if they're like all try to jump up on a tower, it's just this I don't know. It's like this strategy thing. So fun, this game.
I really want to play it now. Sounds like they listened to our League of Legends episode and then corrected everything we pointed out was a problem.
Exactly. Despite the fact that no, those are actually strengths. Those are actually strengths. Those are clearly objectively bad.
Another good example of people who like something even though it's not good, which is fine, but you have to admit it.
Yeah, just to be like, yeah, this is clear, glaring problems with this game. And now that Blizzard has fixed it, this game is I did not expect to like it. I was excited to try it, but I did not expect to like it. And I spent the entire day, like from 7 a.m. until I left for my little date at 7 p.m., playing this game 12 hours straight. Did not want to leave. And when I got back, the first thing I started doing again. It's
Wow,
so
it's
fun.
been a long time since you've had a game like that.
Yeah, exactly. Can you believe that a MOBA? But anyway, so I had to mention it here in the game experiences. But exciting stuff, man. It's and I think it's gonna be free to play.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Any clue on when it releases?
No, no. I
Just
don't know actually.
when it's ready, as they say.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be around Christmas or maybe later, but I don't know. We'll see.
All
It's
right.
still an alpha build, so we'll see. Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much everything I've been playing. Besides that Dino game, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so I guess we can move on and invite Jared onto the show, and then we'll see you guys on the other side. In-depth analysis.